Hello, everybody. My name's Tony Cardenas. This is the Indy Real Estate Market Weekly Update. We're on episode 37, and today I am speaking with Justin Griffith with Keller Williams, Kyle Morris with FC Tucker, and my good friend Shelly Walters with EXP, the one that never picks on me. Hey, everybody. How we doing?
I know. Like, why am I so shut it up?
Hey, everybody. What's going on? Let's talk.
I'm the nice one.
You are the nice one.
That's fair.
Anyway, hey, we got a lot to talk about, and we got some market changes. There was stuff on the news last week that I didn't particularly like, that it was so negative, and then I went and looked at their numbers, and I said I didn't know what they were talking about. So we really want to give our listeners the facts of what's going on every 7 days, what's going on in our market, and we talk about the certain sections of Indianapolis, Indiana, and we hit all of Hamilton County and Zionsville. We soon will get into Avon, Plainfield, and Brownsburg. But, Justin.
Yes.
What is going on with the market? Come on, you guys. Let's give these people an update of if you're going to buy or sell this week.
I feel like things are still moving. Everything that I'm looking at today, like everything's selling still. Long price right, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
nothing new.
When I was looking at it, I saw a lot of really, really good houses on the market. You know, we were talking about that. I saw a lot of 3-car garage, 2-story with the basements, sitting at good prices, just like really, really good houses. Historically, it's kind of like one of those doldrums of the market, right? But when I look at the pricing, it's insanely great for a seller. And when I look at what your timeline and your options as a buyer, it is so good.
Yeah, just
right
not
now.
rushed. Like we looked at a house with a basement, under 300 in Lawrence, and
you used to have to
and we
write
didn't
an
have to
offer in
look
an
at it
instant,
that day. We waited 5 days and got to check it out. So
yeah, it's just really nice actually to a certain extent. And I think we go back to like we're always trying to educate. For the sellers right now, we were talking about so average days on market has gone up, right?
Absolutely.
We're a little bit over 2 weeks at this point, heading more towards 3. But the prices that I'm seeing, I see some of them that are selling under list. I still see some selling over list. It's just really, really interesting how it's all playing out. And I think there's just a lot of bad information out there. I don't even want to say it's bad information. It's usually dated information.
It's
that
very
people are
dated, right?
Making an opinion off of, right? So I just think if you're actually looking at current numbers all the time, it's really good situation right now.
It's just normal.
Yeah.
It's normal. I just went through really fast just looking at Carmel, all 160 houses that are currently active. 160 houses that have currently sold in the past 30 days. And just for that time period, I was just really looking. And it all just hovered around the list price. There wasn't any huge escalations. There were some that went under, but it was anywhere really wrapping around $10,000 to $15,000 at the absolute most. A few of the outliers, but none of this big, huge escalation. But you do have the ability to have a little bit more time and also have more choice of houses without huge competition, which is good. This
and
is
inspections.
Good.
People were doing that last year. I know the three of us never really did that stuff, but I don't know. I've got people doing inspection repairs and concessions and closing costs.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, when's the last time we talk about seller help on closing costs? That's possible again.
agent bonuses now. I've been seeing that on some listings.
Yeah.
With those
that
builders.
were just listed.
Yeah. They're like, hey, we see all types of stuff.
And you're
like
starting
that.
to see a lot of builders put some of their homes up on, believe it or not, Zillow. I'm seeing it.
Yeah, well, so actually, this week in particular, I saw probably the least amount of new construction I saw go up in a little while, but I don't think that's any information one way or the other. If they've already put a bunch on there, you can only build what you have as far as lot availability, right? So,
Absolutely.
and we're getting towards the end of the summer, so they probably sold a lot of their what lots that they have available. So,
Well, it's like you said last week, they got to keep going.
yeah. Well, and I think all of us see, I see a whole lot of neighborhoods being developed.
Especially Westfield. I've been driving by that lately. I cannot believe how many new neighborhoods are going in up there.
Westfield, McCordsville, northeastern Fishers area. I'm seeing stuff that they won't even open up lots for that until like 9 months, right? Like there's just a sign and they've cleared.
All
That's
the
on the
infrastructure.
underground, yeah.
Lots of infrastructure going on right now.
Yeah.
Well, and you got the mortgage rates. The mortgage rates are really, I mean, at the end of the day, they're pretty good. I mean, the rates have ticked up the last few days, but right now you're on a 30-year fix. You're talking about a range anywhere from 5.259% to 5.680. So that gives us this is last night's numbers, 5.680 on a 30-year fixed. A jumbo was 5.186. Jumbos are a little bit more aggressive right now. And, you can actually get into some FHA loans that you could probably get right around 5.25%. Now, I'm talking about broker rates. I'm not talking about national bank rates, okay? So the rates are good, okay? Would I rather pay a little bit more? We say this every other show. Would I rather pay a little bit more on a rate than I would $80,000 over on a house? I'll pay the rate all day long because I can go out there and refinance it. Like they say, I'm going to say this throughout the year, buy the house and date the rate. VA rates are good. USDA with no money down rates are good. So, at the end of the day, rates are pretty decent. And we got
What was it like a couple weeks ago? Weren't we down close to 5?
Oh yeah, it was, but the banks weren't. You got to understand
Yeah.
something. The banks were at 5.86%.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and you have a lot of
brokerages,
people
yeah.
charging points for these things, so they're very misleading. Like I just pulled the board up right now. AIMLoan.com, 5% 30-year fixed, APR 5.081.
Jeez.
But wait a minute, that's not bad. But they're charging a lot of money for points. PenFed is at 5.25. Chase Bank, here we're getting real now. Chase Bank is at 5.625. Okay, and
With points?
2,500.
well, yeah, but wait a minute. Let's still talk about the point number. But yes, with points, okay, and that's a 780 credit score. That's 20% down. So not everybody's going to fit in that little spot right there. Okay, then you go the same product. You go right over to Rocket Mortgage. They're at 6.125. Okay, an APR of 6.255%. But the bottom line is, really, at the end of the day, they're a little bit more real. Okay,
Yeah.
so at the end of the day, there's some mortgage bankers out there, mortgage brokers out there that are probably at 5.5, 5.65. You might even get a guy to squeeze down to 5.375. It's all subject to the loan to value, how long they got to lock this stuff. Okay, 30 days, 22 days, 45 days. The longer you lock, the higher you pay. All right, but at the end of the day, it's a great time to buy a house. So, how many homes?
Well, real quick, I think one of the interesting things we should probably start talking about too is FHA and first-time home buyers are kind of starting to be back in a good situation. It was really hard, if you were kind of south of 300 and dealing with an FHA for the past 2 years. And
VA.
Yeah.
In VA.
Losing
and I
to
think
cash
it's-
buyers or conventional buyers. And now
Yeah.
it's like you can actually win something.
You can win stuff again, and you can get help, and you can get because people are getting so much for their house, but at the same time, my only concern is that they've lost a little bit of buying power. But that buying power from December, I mean, you weren't even getting those houses anyways.
No.
right?
Yeah.
So
They were gone.
they were gone. Yeah. So I don't know. I think FHA and VA. I think a lot of those people have been discouraged, and I think you could find a house pretty. I don't want to say easily, just because inventory is low still to a certain extent. But
Yeah, I think if anybody's been having that burnout that they had or concern that,
them.
I've already done this long enough, I quit, get back in.
Yeah.
It's time to get back in and look and see if you can do it now.
Because those apartment rates have went up.
Oh, yeah.
For the rents.
Oh yeah. I mean, some of these people out here spending, $1,500 to $2,500 a month on rent.
Yep.
When they can go buy their first home.
$400,000 house for that, right?
And pay less.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about a $400,000 home, but they go FHA, they can get in something. Maybe it's not exactly what they want, but at least they're building some equity and owning something rather than paying the apartment. Getting a big fat zero for it.
Yep.
But Shelley, since we started off with Carmel, let's go over Carmel one more time. How many houses were listed?
So total listed in the past 7 days was 35, so quite lower than we have seen. 18 of those pended, so about 50%. Currently, total active in Carmel is 117, anywhere between 185,000 and 7.9. We did have, over the past 7 days, 25 price drops, and our average days on market are 15, and that's over the past 7 days. If you look at the pendings, the way we're doing those numbers is the pendings for 7 days 15 days on market. So that just to, but I did do a 30 days on market to see what's happened over the past 30 days, and they were 12. So that just shows us we are ticking up just a little bit in days on market, but still 15 days on market is very good.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay, so what's the what do we? Since we're there, let's go to Westfield. What do we got?
Westfield had 26 listed, so not very many again. 10 pended, so only about 35% of those did. Total 149 still active, and 6 days on market is average in Westfield. So those,
How many price drops?
they did not have any.
That's good.
Yeah, 109.
So that shows you a little about the market.
So the 199 to 2.25 is how much everything is in 149 homes on the market in Westfield. In Zionsville, they had 14 hit the market, 8 which have sold. Only 44 currently on the market in Zionsville. The average there is now becoming 23 days on market. Price points 364 to 2.5 million.
How many price drops?
There was 9.
Okay.
So I think everybody just needs to just relax and calm down on these price drops. I have seen them. We talked about this, when they're doing price drops in 7 days.
Right. I mean, if I was a buyer, I'd like to see a price drop
Right.
on a house I'm buying.
Yeah.
But I understand for the person selling their home, everybody wants to get the highest price, and all the buyers want to get the lowest price and get in, and everybody's happy at the end of the day.
Well, I think the only thing you can talk about is if after you've had 7 days of showings and every person through the house said price too high, yes. But if you're not getting that type of feedback and you're just concerned because the days on market are now 10 or something, that's not a reason to do a price drop, because the feedback you get is what you really need to be looking at as well.
Correct.
Absolutely. So, Big Daddy FC Tucker Kyle Morris.
What's up, buddy?
Let's hear your stats for the
So-
week, for the last 7 days.
For the last 7 days, Tuesday to the previous Tuesday, right? 23rd to the 16th.
Yeah.
In Fishers, we had 38 new go on the market, and it was anywhere from 199,000 to 2.75. 24 of them are still active. 14 of them have pended. So, but the interesting thing, I was just looking back. So we currently have 140 total on the market, and the average days on market is 17 days. I went back to, I'd have to pull the exact date on it, but it looks like, just because there's an inspection thing right next to it, it looks like it was around the beginning of June, end of May, and there were 80 houses on the market.
Wow.
Right.
Okay.
So I mean, we're getting, as far as like what we're talking about, like it's just a better scenario for everybody. In Noblesville, we had 20 go on the market, anywhere from 125,000 to basically 1.8 million. 11 of them have sold, 11 of them are still active. 9 of them have sold. There's 102 on the market, and it's about 18 days on market. So that was actually pretty. Noblesville's actually been really, really good. So theirs was actually a little bit low this week. There's a lot that goes into that. But still, once again, their total on market is, people are like, hey, what's going on with the market? Like, yes, things are changing. We've been talking about that for 8 weeks at least, right? There's just more on the market, but it's not like an insane amount more. It's not like things are just sitting forever and never selling, right? Like,
Right,
it's just
of course.
You got like 10, 20% higher, right?
Yeah,
Like
well, you
that's
look
what
at
you
the
would
days
want.
on market of 15,
Yeah.
17, when you're talking about when there was tons of inventory or higher inventory, we're looking at 60, 80 days on the market a lot of times. And that was still
God, yes.
an average.
Yeah.
So the average days on market are low, which shows that the inventory is
It's still selling.
low. It's still a seller's
Still
market.
selling.
But the buyers have a better opportunity to get a house now and think about it overnight, as we say, and not have to pay escalations too. One of the things I read this week was the Mortgage Bankers Association said that applications for mortgages is down 18%, and that's over the past year, which is last past year has been a high average of homes
Record
being
year,
sold.
right?
So
Yeah.
down 18% is probably still not low. It's,
Yeah.
it's still a normal number. So everybody who keeps saying everything's down, it's comparative to a major, huge difference in a market for 2 years. So down doesn't mean bad or slow.
Right,
No,
Yeah,
it's relative.
was last year up 20%, and it's like we're back to where we were the year before.
I could tell you one
Yeah.
thing. If I was a buyer right now, I'd be a hell of a lot happier looking today than I would, honestly, 90 days ago, 4 months ago. I got a lot more to look at. Of course, my rates are up, but then again, if you got a decent credit score, or if you don't have a decent credit score and you got to pay a little bit higher, you're still buying the house, I think, for more of an equal price. You're not going to have to pay that $20 or $15 or $30,000 over, And then, of course, you can always go back and refinance it. Call your mortgage consultant up and say, hey, look, I've been in the home for 2 years. What has came down or what has went up? What can I do to make some changes?
It's more proportional, though, right? Because
Absolutely.
you're talking about $50,000 over list price versus $200 extra a month in a
Or
in
$300,
mortgage
yeah.
payment.
No big deal.
That $50K carries that $200
5,
a
6,
month
7
Forever.
years until you
Oh, my
refi.
goodness.
Like, yeah.
Yeah,
I'd rather
until
pay
you
the
refi,
200
but you still
extra.
paid the 50.
Yep.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
But then you also have the issue of if you paid 50 or 80,000 over, we can always say that if they try to turn around and sell it, if it didn't appraise and they try to sell it, then where are we with them? Whereas now, if you have a purchase and you have to sell it in 2 years, you're probably going to be a little better off.
Right. Well, I know what you're saying there, but now we have to go over to, hold on for just a minute.
Jesus.
Yeah,
We're
set
going to
the
go over to
tone.
Justin Griffith, and we're
gosh.
going to be talking about the downtown Broad Ripple, Indy, Mass Avenue market. Justin, Keller Williams, what's happening?
Hello. Broad Ripple had 12 new this week, 5 of which pended. So we still have 21 active on the market, priced anywhere from $279 to $989. And we had 2 closings. One was over, one was under.
said Broad Ripple, $989.
Yeah. I'll pull it up myself. I think, yeah. Absolutely, though.
But wait a minute. Well, let's back up here. What do you mean? I think, yeah.
No, it's absolutely priced.
It's
at
$980.
I didn't pull up the address, but yeah.
Crazy.
Wow. It's
It
crazy.
is some waterfront properties.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, yeah. I know you're probably talking off of Westfield Boulevard in the
Yeah,
back
my
there.
friend lives off
Yeah.
Edgewater, and someone bought 2 lots just to tear them down, and they're building like a big house. I think they pay like $500,000 for just the lots.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
I need friends like that.
Yeah. But on those 2 closings in Broad Ripple, one was over $10,000 over ask price, and one was under $3,000. So we're still getting that, price it right. They may come. Days on the market were 21 for Broad Ripple. For Meridian Kessler, 15 new, 12 pended. So that's awesome numbers. That leaves 27 total on the market, priced anywhere from $180,000 to $1.3 million. And 7 sales in the last week, 26 days on the market, priced anywhere from $230,000 to $1.7 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
Meridian Kessler's been moving this
Absolutely.
year. Their numbers, they're normally over ask price. I mean, granted, there was one that was under this time, but yeah, they're normally over or at ask price.
and did you say that's around 21 days on the market?
26 days on the market for Meridian Kessler, 21 for Broad Ripple.
That's still very quick to sell your home.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's only 21 homes in Broad Ripple. So
I mean,
if
how many
you're going
ti-
to look right now in
Right.
your price range, there's probably only 3, 4, 5 possibly.
What about the people 6 months ago, a year and a half ago that, hey, let's put my house on the market wherever in the heck it was. And and you give them a call 3 hours later saying, hey, we sold it for 10 grand over. You got to move.
Yeah.
Man, I think that's a little
And
bit
then
of
find a new place.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of an uncomfortable situation to be in.
It is.
Versus, hey, right now your average 21 days on the market in Broad Ripple, we can kind of get our act together to figure out what we're doing. We got a little bit of time to go out there and look at some houses and stuff like that,
Absolutely.
Well, Shelley. Oh,
No, Justin.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, still Bates Hendricks had 5 new this week, 4 of which pended.
What was the price?
The average price of the pendings are $245. There's currently 14 active from $289 to $589.
Really?
And their days on the market actually went down a little bit to 17.
That's good.
Which is impressive for Bates Hendricks. And then lastly, Fountain Square had 1 new listing, which makes 32 total active at $344,000, and 4 closings, all of which were under ask price from anywhere from $2,000 to $7,000, and days on the market is 30.
I wonder why that's so different down there. I mean, just one listing, and the other ones aren't moving that quick, are they?
I mean, there's 30 days on the market, so they're not moving bad. But yeah, there's 32 still active.
What's the high and low down there?
182 for the low, and the high is 499 right now.
Wow.
It's just, they're just in different dynamic neighborhoods. I've been showing a bunch of houses in Butler, Tarkington, Old North Side, stuff down by Athletic Club, stuff off of Pennsylvania. There's a lot of amazing condos on the market right now.
Oh, yeah. The
my
metro
goodness.
market has
It
got
is
some really cool stuff.
Really nice.
And you're right. We got the city of Indianapolis and Carmel. I can speak of this right now, that we are developing condominiums. I mean, we got so many condominiums that are going to be developed
Yep.
here. I mean, right over here behind us where we're shooting this podcast right now, in Carmel, you've got condos going right on top of this parking garage. Okay. You've got condos over on Main Street and Old Meridian Street. Okay. You got condos that where Estridge is. They're mowing that whole thing down. That's going to be more of a midtown type area, and you're going to have condominiums over there. I'm telling you, the condo market is blowing up in this town. I mean, in a way, I kind of feel like we're behind the 8 ball on it a little bit because all these other metropolitan places. I mean, look at Chicago. That's all it is: apartments and condos. And
until you get way out, man.
Until you get way out. So
I think it kind of speaks to what Shelley was talking about last week during that report that more people are buying condos, like a younger generation.
Absolutely.
Like it was up like, what, 60% or something?
Yeah, it's changed over the past few years.
Shelley, we need to get the girl back in here from epcon and kind of get an update from her.
Yeah, they just released 4 lots last weekend, so they're back on that.
What's her first name again?
Their model opened.
Yeah.
Or is opening
Super
this
nice.
so
Super nice.
epcon is ready to start showing everybody what they have. Wanted to say you were talking about the condos and stuff. So last week I went to an event with my board and listened to Indianapolis and what they're trying to do right now, downtown especially, trying to revamp a lot of areas. And there's a new area called Elevator Hill, which is really
Where's that
sounds
at?
really cool. The old Angie's List campus.
Oh yeah.
They're redoing
on Washington
that.
Boulevard.
Yeah, they're redoing
Washington Street.
Washington Street. Yeah, redoing that entire area.
Like
Kind of a cool area.
So they're revamping that completely and reusing the old buildings, and so I'm really excited about that. And they were talking about some other really old buildings, old factories being revamped. So there's a lot of work going on in Indianapolis.
Well,
too.
yeah, and you got the big, I don't even know the name of it, the soccer.
Yeah, for the Indy 11.
Indy 11.
Yep.
And I hear that's just going to be unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's just
they're
really
doing a lot of
interesting.
stuff down there.
Like the one I was looking at, the one on Pennsylvania, like where Andrew Luck used to live and stuff. He used to be down by where I used to work. I mean, it's just a beautiful building, right? Just the amenities and the people I'm dealing with, they're like, they live up in Westfield and they just want to be in the city with no maintenance, there's stuff we were looking at off of 16th Street that is just like
back 9 is that what you're talking
319
about?
right?
Oh.
And I mean it is just amazing and it's brand new, right? So
What's the price point down there?
it depends on what you want, right? So you're going to be probably around 5, so
Okay,
mid
gotcha.
4s, but they also have like 3-bedroom ones that are a little bit more. They have them up into 6. If you start getting on Pennsylvania, I think Andrew's old place is on the market for like 2.5, something like that. But I found a ton down there in the mid 4s, that are just super, super nice,
Really?
And then they have, some of them have, they have attached parking, like they have an actual garage. Some of them have covered, like a garage, right?
Right.
Like more of like a parking garage. And they're deeded parking lots, and they
Exactly.
go for just the parking lot.
We're
is
talking down in the heart of
$30,000.
downtown Indianapolis, which is really a pretty safe area. I mean, it's not where they're having all the problems and everything.
No.
Because I was just down recently on Mass Avenue, and I saw some young people. I mean, it was getting dark, and people were right up and down, and I thought, what the hell's going on? And I always thought that you really wouldn't do that. And there's a lot of people out on Mass Avenue, people walking their dogs. I saw a lady with her baby going up and down the street. So I think the internal part of Indianapolis, Indiana, is a really, really good place to live.
Oh, down by Lockerbie, over by Bottle Works, Old Northside, Mapleton Fall Creek. Like that's all it is. It's like if you're not down there, you don't realize man, it is just out and about and active living. And people, I drove past Bottle Works at like 7:00 on Saturday, and it was packed. Like they're putting in more parking because they don't have the capacity for how many people go there.
Exactly.
It is just
And they have
really,
some more
really cool.
condos going up around there as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's people riding their bikes all the way through downtown. It's like, I would have never imagined that 10 and 15 years ago.
We
I
should
didn't
do those
see it.
electric scooters. I've never done one. We could do a podcast while we're riding the electric scooters with GoPros.
I just did that a couple weeks ago. I had the biggest smile on my face. Very dangerous. Maybe don't drink when you do that.
Okay, well, wait a minute. We're going to end the show here for a minute. But Justin, just give us you don't only ride bikes, but didn't you do go-karts the other day?
I did, yeah.
And how'd you do on that?
Donkey Kong and a go-kart. It was a miserable experience. I'm 6'7". I know you guys can't see me, but it was a tight squeeze. My ribs hurt for days.
Okay, did you take your daughter?
I did, yes.
And who won the race?
Of course I did.
You can't let them win.
Yeah.
What are we talking
But
about?
she said, you never let me win. I was like, I'm trying to make you try harder.
Yeah. These are life lessons.
Yes,
You look like Donkey Kong.
I did.
Oh,
If
I
you
bet his
played
knees
Mario
were up
Kart, it
against-
was
Yeah.
very
Hey, if
uncomfortable.
anybody's out there buying real estate and their kids like Donkey Kong, here's what I'm telling you right now. If you buy a home from Justin Griffith with Keller Williams, you're going to get a free trip to. He's going to take you on the track, and you're going to see Donkey Kong
you can
driving.
see Donkey Kong firsthand. Yes.
He can change your light bulbs without a ladder.
Okay,
Yeah.
since we know what Justin's going to do for somebody if they buy a home, okay, what are you going to do for somebody if they buy a home?
Oh man,
Come on.
We can get into the list of things that I would do.
No, what would be
do a
fun?
lot. What would be fun?
Yeah, for a family to do. If they buy a home from you this week or next week, what are you going to do? You can't do what he's doing.
I'd love to go play golf with him.
Yeah,
Okay,
me too.
all right, that's a golf
Like, we
thing.
don't play golf. Like, sorry.
Okay, and what would you do?
I have a thing that I'm getting ready to do that I would like to do with somebody. Maybe this could be it. Is the what do they call it? When Raquel would know, she would be able to tell me when you take a group and you have to do clues and figure out murder
escape room?
mysteries.
Oh, like escape room or something.
I would love
Yeah,
to.
but-
do
Oh, yeah.
yeah, just any of that kind of stuff. Just
That would be fun. So look,
Just
you don't
games,
only get to buy a
family
house, you
games.
get to have a little bit of fun. Okay. How can they get a hold of you, Kyle? What company do you work for?
It's Moore's Property Group with FC Tucker in Carmel, 317-649-5122. Call or text.
Justin Griffith.
317-507-5599 or fishers.realestate and customcontainerbuilders.com.
And what brand do you sell?
Keller Williams, Indy Metro Northeast. Long
Okay.
name, great results.
Long name, great results. I like that. Remember, everybody, you only can buy Northeast from Justin.
No,
I mean, if
everywhere.
it's across the street,
I'm
he can't do
everywhere.
it. I'm joking. Okay, Shelly.
Shelly Walters with EXP, Shelly Walters Realtor Group. My cell phone's 317-201-2601.
Shelly can sell anywhere and everywhere. Am I right?
Yes, even
Can you
down
sell
at
it-
Sweetwater and Cordray.
Can you sell?
Greater.
Can you sell in London or Paris?
If we have to go that far, I will just twist my arm and I'll go and help.
Okay, everybody.
definitely
Hey,
do
thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.
Have a great day and a great week.
Thank you.
Holly here. Thank you for listening to this week's Carmel podcast. If you are thinking of buying and or selling your home, reach out to one of the local agents. This podcast is sponsored by Executive Homes Magazine serving Greater Indianapolis. Thank you to our guests, Shelly Walters with EXP, Kyle Griffith with FC Tucker, Justin Griffith with Keller Williams, Greg Cooper with Compass Real Estate, and Tony Cardenas, our host.